They leave from Chicago. They going.
What's happening, boxing? What's happening, YouTube? And about that boxing, we are going to be talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Artem Harutyunyan. And we are going to talk about Shakur Stevenson's recent beef with Mace and Killer Cam from It Is What It Is. Anyway, let's get into the fight. Before we get into this, please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications, and share the content if you digging it. Let's go in. Let's tap in on this situation. All right. First, let's talk about the fight. Okay, Shakur Stevenson versus Artem Harutyunyan was a typical Shakur Stevenson fight. He didn't do anything special. Even though he told us he was going to knock Artem out, he did not knock Artem out. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of the fight, Artem wasn't doing too bad at first. He had a lot of jerky movement, way too much movement in my opinion, because I knew at the age of 33, he was probably going to start to slow down before Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson also did something very smart, and he kept it to the body. Artem also was trying to go to the body, which lets you know he went into the ring with a game plan to try to take Stevenson's body from him a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and wear him down so he's not so elusive. Anyway, Shakur was quite elusive, didn't do very much, though he did stand in the pocket more in this fight than the De Los Santos fight. He didn't do very much. He threw a lot of 1-2s and 1-2-2s, but very basic. He did only what he needed to do to win. I'm not agreeing with Shakur Stevenson's whole, I don't care what the fans think. The fans pay the bills, buddy. That's why nobody's paying to see your fights. That's why no one's wanting to even challenge you. Like, the fight's not interesting to most people. So, because you're not putting the risk factor in. So anyway, Shakur Stevenson even gets Harutyunyan hurt in a round. I mean, super hurt. He had him hurt to the point of where I was like, wow, okay. Shakur finna take this dude out. But he never took him out. Shakur backed off and didn't let aggression take over and finish the job. When is the last time Shakur's actually finished the job? It's been a couple fights, maybe even a few. So that's what I'm saying, man. Just not much, but the same old Shakur. He ends up winning by a landslide victory. I think there was a score as wide as 119-109 or something like that. So he definitely won the fight, even though he got booed in Newark, New Jersey. He got booed by his own fans for his lackluster performance and not keeping his word on the knockout, or at least making it look like he was trying to. Anyway, after the fight, Shakur said, they didn't even interview him. I don't believe he even interviewed. I think he just ended the fight. But he said he was going to go home to his family and stuff in the post-fight. That's what he said he was going to do. But word has it, he went home, probably in the car and the ride and everything on the way home. He was already becoming Mr. Twitterson, and he was online getting his look on to see who was talking about his performance. And it just so happened that Killer Cam and Mace had said something about his performance. And if you don't know, It Is What It Is Killer Cam and Mace's podcast. All right. Right now they have Treasure Wilson on there with them. And she started reading off the tweets that Shakur has said about Killer Cam and Mace.
It goes on for a span of about 3 hours. So I'm just going to read some of the tweets that he said.
All right, go.
Okay. So one, you know what irks me? When a nigga talk boxing but ain't never glove up. This man Mace and Big T and Cameron need to shut the fuck up. Them niggas have never stepped foot in a boxing ring. We got all types of entertainers gloving up. Tell these niggas glove up or shut up.
He really said some pretty bad things about Cam. He even went in to say things about Cam with them teeth. And, Cam and Mace responded. You're supposed to be home with your family. This is what you're telling everybody. But this is not what ended up happening. All right. Apparently, he spent 3 hours tweeting back and forth about Cam and Mace and talking about Big should have never even showed no type of interest in Cam and trying to sign him or wanting to sign him. He was a boo-boo rapper and You know, like I said, made mentions about Cam's teeth. He said some things about Mace. Basically, he talked about both of them and said he don't F with them guys and all this other mess. And so he basically opened up a pocket for somebody to jump in. All right. And Cam and Mace jumped in the pocket with him. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, Cam and Mace, like they like almost like some Adrian Broner types. They from, you know, it's a different generation where, man, we go hard. Like we try to hit you where it hurts. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, basically Cam went all the way in. Cam did the most talking. Mace kind of talked a little ish in the beginning and said, "You're named after Shakur. I didn't have no problems with the original. And I don't want no problems with you. I'm going to treat it like what it is. Funny, like it's comedy. It's a joke."
Since it's all comedy, I'm going to deal with it like comedy, nigga. You hear that? Like I said, nigga, your mother named you after Shakur, nigga. You know I ain't had no problems with the first Shakur. I ain't going to have no problems with you. Chill out, Lord, nigga.
Because Mason Cam is from Harlem and they do have street ties. You know what I'm saying? And it's always good to try to keep at least a few of those. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get that loot. Keep your guys around you. Get them out the streets and keep them around you. And that's what Cam and Mason them do. So they basically started going in, man. Cam went in.
How you get mad because you get booed in your hometown, nigga?
And boy, did he go in. He talked about Shakur getting booed by his hometown. He talked about Shakur being boring because that's what the whole thing was about. That Cam and Mace said that Shakur's performances are boring. He's a boring fighter.
The nigga put this energy into your boxing, nigga, and start letting your hands go, then you will be a pay-per-view star.
Yeah, well, murder, that ain't gonna happen right now, man. That's just not gonna happen. The last 2 fights has put a nigga to sleep, my nigga. That's just not gonna happen.
And he got mad. Like, you can't get mad at somebody. People been saying this about you. Why you so infuriated by Cam and Mace saying it? You know why? Because Cam and Mace have a real platform. And since they have a platform, now that energy is on a real large scale. But Cam didn't hesitate to go in on him and let him know that grill, them chops he got was 60 bands. He didn't get the 1,200. He didn't get the 3,000s that you got to get redone 50 times. He went and paid 60 bands for his mouthpiece. So
my teeth from America. I ain't go overseas. My shit's 60K, nigga. I ain't go to Dr. Rarufu, whoever his name in Dominican Republic. My shit's American made 60.
And he kept flossing it and showing it. So it was kind of funny, man. Cam definitely said we make more money than you and all kinds of stuff because Shakur Stevenson had even tweeted that, you know, Gilly and Wallow, you know what I'm saying, $1 million worth of game is the real streets. Y'all ain't the streets. And, you know, just basically trying to almost put a little something in the air. But if y'all don't know, Wallow and Gilly had a lot to do with Cam and Mace even getting back together to do, you know, before the podcast, just them getting back together. Like, man, y'all boys, y'all go way back, you know, the whole, you know, 9 yards. And they are the ones that helped to really get these guys to sit back in the room together and be friends. You know what I'm saying? So they have no beef whatsoever. They praise Wallow and Gilly and $1 million worth of game. So Shakur Stevenson's efforts to muddy the waters with Cam and them only got itself in more boo-boo. Because Cam commenced to start talking about how much more money they make than Shakur, and talking about your fights is free, you fighting for free. And yeah, he gets a purse, but Cam and them are saying that, you know, no pay-per-view. I could just flip the channel and you fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's no pay-per-view. You're not getting buys. And y'all know me. I don't really care about that. I think every fight should just be a fight we could see. I don't give a damn about pay-per-view. I'm not making no money off of it. But it's a point Cam was making, is that you are not that guy in your business to be trying to talk about somebody else saying we just podcasters when we make more money than you, you know. And also, you in your home state and the fans booed you and everything. You couldn't even say nothing because they could have jumped on you and beat you up. You ain't even got no help. And this is your home city. You know what I'm saying? So Cam is basically telling them, you're a little kid in the game. You have no clout. You have nothing for real besides boxing, just box, because Shakur Stevenson really was going in on his tweets. I keep thinking Twitterson. They need to just change the name to Twits. You know what I'm saying? But Shakur, he was going in on the tweets and he was saying like, you know, I'm sick of ninjas that ain't never put no gloves on, ain't never gloved up, but they always trying to talk about a glove situation. But, you know, Shakur, you got to realize you grew up, you had somebody to hold your hand and put you in the boxing and keep you in the boxing, where these guys had to get out the streets. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that. Like, they didn't have to be in the streets because Cam basically, I mean, he could ball. I mean, he's not NBA height though, so, you know, he probably would have got some good college run or whatever, but NBA height he is not. So, you know, I think he just saw like, you know, yeah, that's cool. You know, the balling thing is cool, but he just know, like, I'm not, you know, 6'10". I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And the game is leaning towards that. So he just went for other options. All right. But he's very intelligent. He invested a lot of the money that he did make through the rap game and other, you know, entrepreneurships that he did. So he just feels like it's ultimate disrespect for some little knucklehead like Shakur Stevenson, who's not even able to fulfill his fans' wishes. He's not even able to make a fight exciting enough to where one of the commentators and Tim Bradley said something about it's time for the coffee. You know, he gonna have to make sure he got his coffee ready for the Shakur fight. All right. And Tim Bradley did give props to Shakur, though. He said your favorite fighter don't want to fight him. And he was talking about how Shakur was doing the hit, not get hit. You know, he was giving Shakur props, and Shakur banged on him too, called him a sellout ninja, and went in the whole nine. And y'all know I'm not the biggest Tim Bradley spokes announcer fan. I was a Tim Bradley boxer fan. Like, I like Tim Bradley as a boxer. I thought he was good. He got a little emotional sometimes. I think that's what got Tim Bradley. But anyway, he said Shakur just needs to grow up. He's childish as hell, and he needs to get off the internet and stop tweeting and stuff. And you know, he done accepted the name Twitterson. It's on the back of his shorts. He said, I am him. It's what Shakur is doing. It's part of his game. You know, you get all this Shakur and all this action on Twitter, but then when he gets in the ring, it's just the same old performance. And I think what Cam and them was basically trying to say is that you're not entertaining. They compared him to Tank Davis, and Cam went as far as to say that you should fight Teofimo Lopez so he could beat your ass out here. Fight Teofimo. So Cam and them, you know, they throwing the heat out there too, because that is something that is a beef, because Teofimo Lopez mentioned that Shakur Stevenson does not like to get hit. And when I say he doesn't like to get hit, that dude will run from a punch.
You know, Shakur is a very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
You know, can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world, scared to get touched up in front of the world. And
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before.
He does not want to be hit. He's scared of getting hit, is how Teofimo Lopez put it. He's scared, afraid to get hit. And sometimes it does feel like that when you're watching the Shakur Stevenson fight. But those that are real boxers know that Shakur Stevenson is on some hit, not get hit. He is technically the best at it, but he makes for a boring performance as compared to someone like Abdullah Mason, or even the likes of Keyshawn Davis, who's supposed to be his little man's. And as Cam said it, Keyshawn Davis schooled the teacher. He was better than the main event. And then they went as far as to say that, and I think May said this, you know, you should be starting off the card and not be the headliner, because that's the type of fighter you are. You boring. You should be warming up the crowd with your performances. So it got heated, man. They were slinging some mud, but I got to agree with Cam and Mace all the way, 150%.
Your grandfather's in your corner telling you to let your hands go. You won't let your motherfucking hands go because you scared to get hit. You want to swim without getting wet. It's just not going to happen, nigga.
Shakur Stevenson just does not take enough risks. I know what his game is, but for him to say he doesn't give a shit what the fans think, that's real, real bad. And Cam pointed that out as well. That's just bad business. Like, how you not gonna care about the people that actually feed you? They are the ones that you're only in the spot because of the fans. Like, as soon as no fans want to mess with you, which with Shakur is getting worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, his turnouts ain't that great. And he has to put a lot of support on the cards. Like, I think a lot more people was there to see Keyshawn Davis just being real than Shakur Stevenson. Anyway, man, that's all I got for this one, man. Let me know what y'all think. Go check out the beef. Go check out the video from Cam and Mace if y'all haven't seen it, man. It's crazy, man. It's funny as hell. It's just a funny ass podcast. Y'all need to go check it out, man. Mason them turned it out. Really basically saying, sit your little ass down somewhere, Shakur Stevenson. You ain't even got back into your hometown. Cam said something like you couldn't woof at a white man at that fight because you ain't have no backup. And don't Shakur live in like Texas? I'm telling y'all, man, it just gets deep. You can't mess with old school cats, Shakur. You can't mess with old school cats and be trying to trash talk. We just better at it. We gonna hit you where it really hurt. We got something deeper than I messed with your girl and all the little corny stuff that y'all dudes be coming up with. We be hitting you where it hurt in your pride section. So anyway, man, that's all I got for this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the content, hit the notifications, and I'll be back with another one, man. And about that boxing, I'm out.